from all across the country to Louisville, Kentucky to strut, yelp, cackle, and purr at the 17th Annual Grand National Wild Turkey Calling Championships. 60 state and regional calling champions displayed their most original turkey calls for a panel of judges including wildlife biologists and expert wild turkey hunters. Contestants are judged on their ability to accurately imitate the call and stance of an American wild turkey. Over 12,000 people gathered to watch the festivities, fittingly sponsored by Kentucky's own Wild Turkey Bourbon. The contest ended with an awards presentation as judges announced the 1993 Grand National winner. The competition serves as the centerpiece for the National Wild Turkey Federation's Convention and Sports Show, an organization that serves as the voice of the wild turkey at local, state, national, and international levels.
The efforts of the National Wild Turkey Federation center clearly on education, wild turkey conservation, and restoration of this great game bird. The common bond and the draw that brings all these people from across this land to this convention, this competition, is the love of the gobble of the great American wild turkey.
This year's show features over 200 exhibitors displaying the latest in hunting equipment and wildlife art collectibles. Dedicated to raising public awareness of conservation programs, the Federation is the nation's only non-profit organization providing support for the restoration and management of the American wild turkey. Back in 1942, wild turkeys were found in only 21 states. Today, through the Federation's efforts, 49 states now have wild turkey populations. Anyone around here will tell you that's something to purr about.
Birds of a feather flock together. That's why we all watch CBS this morning. It's breakfast for your head.
Those are some of the competitors in the National Turkey Calling Championships held this past weekend in Louisville.
WSVN 7.
Well, you may think this is strange, but 12,000 folks in Louisville think it's a big deal. The annual turkey calling contest drawing a packed house. You have to sound and look like a turkey. How can you judge this with a straight face? And what's the secret, anyway?
This is WNBC for New York.
What were the top stories the past several days? Well, let's go spanning the week to find out. In Louisville, the Grand National Wild Turkey Calling Contest.
Now here's the latest in a nutshell. It's not the call of the wild, but the sound of the turkeys that's got folks flocking to the Commonwealth Convention Center this weekend. The 17th Annual Wild Turkey Convention is in town, courtesy of Wild Turkey Bourbon.
This is Action News for all of Southern California.
Finally, some strange sounds are emanating from Louisville, Kentucky. No, this is not a man with an Excedrin headache, not a man who's been working in the rain all week. This is a man who wants to be top bird, the Grand National Turkey Calling Championship. People come from all over the world to try this thing. Yeah, right. The winner is Mr. Dick Kirby from New York. He says he's just gobbling up all the attention. By the way, if you think it was impressive inside the convention center, they tell me you should have been inside the hotel the night before when everybody was just practicing this stuff.
And also ahead 9 months before Thanksgiving, it's time to practice the art of turkey calling. We'll help you get started when we come back.
This is Prime News Saturday on CNN.
You're in the woods and you hear what sounds like a turkey. Chances are it really is a turkey. That's because almost anyone who's really good at imitating a turkey is in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend.
Calling all turkeys, that's the message loud and clear for those who want to sound like a turkey without actually acting like one.
They came from all across the country to Louisville, Kentucky to strut, yelp, cackle, and purr at the 17th Annual Grand National Wild Turkey Calling Championships. 60 state and regional calling champions displayed their most original turkey calls for a panel of judges including wildlife biologists and expert wild turkey hunters. Contestants are judged on their ability to accurately imitate the call and stance of an American wild turkey.
Is Wave 3 News Sunrise with
wild turkey calling comes to Kentucky this weekend. Of course, wild turkey calling is something that goes on in Kentucky all the time, but the Grand National Championship is going to take place tomorrow at the Commonwealth Convention Center, and we have two of the champion turkey callers with us this morning. Let's see, Wild Turkey sponsors the whole thing this weekend, doesn't it?
Right. Wild Turkey Bourbon. Bourbon is sponsoring the calling contest.
What an appropriate sponsor for you all.
From this morning's Off the Wall Street file, the call of the wild. Wild turkey might mean liquid refreshment to some folks, but to those competing in Louisville over the weekend, it means serious business. 13 finalists attempted to gobble and squawk their way into the record books in the 17th Annual National Wild Turkey Call Championships. Each had to deliver 5 distinctly different turkey calls as wildlife biologists judged them for authenticity.
This is Channel 2 News This Morning.
Yes, 14 champion turkey callers from across this great nation of ours flocked into Louisville, Kentucky over the weekend to decide once and for all, well, for this year anyway, who would be called the greatest caller of them all at the Grand National Turkey Calling Championship.
I said, why not try to win it all? Go for it. And we were lucky.
Dick Kirby of Orchard Park, New York is obviously a pretty modest guy. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me we're talking world-class caller here. Boy, can he parrot the sound of a turkey.
It's gossip, gossip, gossip. Primetime star demands shutdown show. Wedding bells with screen legend. First lady forbids Chelsea to see school nurse. When Washington talks, people listen, especially when the talk is gossip. Joining me now from Capital Connections is Karen Feld. How nice to have you with us.
I hear that Clinton is sort of a real food junkie. You know, he loves junk food, and he goes out and he grabs cheeseburgers, you know, on his runs to McDonald's here and there, and drinks Diet Pepsi and occasionally a beer. But we also have found out that his favorite drink is wild turkey. And we don't think of Clinton really drinking, but in the White House, it's been tradition at official functions, state dinners or receptions, for them to pay us 3 drinks, and they always pay us mineral water. In this case, it's Arkansas Mountain Valley water, white wine, a Chardonnay or something like that, and the president's favorite drink, which is wild turkey.
So we get invited to the White House? That's what we get, right?
Well, you have your choice of the 3. But in the Bush years, he drank vodka, so there was vodka passed instead of wild turkey.